Hello everyone, we're from the fourth group and today we're going to talk about literature review. What is literature review? Okay, let me explain. A literature review is a survey or scholarly sources on a specific topic. It provides an overview of current knowledge, allowing you to identify relevant theories, methods, and gaps in the existing research. Writing a literature review involves finding relevant publications such as books and journal articles, critically analyzing them, and explaining what you found. A good literature review doesn't just summarize sources, it analyzes, synthesizes, and critically evaluates to give a clear picture of the state of knowledge on a subject. When you write a thesis, dissertation, or research paper, you will have to conduct a literature review to situate your research within existing knowledge. You might also have to write a literature review as a standalone assignment. In this case, the purpose is to evaluate the current state of research and demonstrate your knowledge of scholarly debates around the topic. The content will look slightly different in each case, but the process of conducting a literature review follows the same steps. Okay guys, let's talk about step 1. Search for relevant literature. Before you begin searching for literature, you need a clearly defined topic. If you are writing the literature review section of a dissertation or research paper, you will search for literature related to your research problem and questions. If you're writing a literature review as a standalone assignment, you will have to choose a focus and develop a central question to direct your research. Unlike a dissertation research question, this question has to be answerable without collecting original data. You should be able to answer it based only on a review of existing publications. Okay, I'll give you an example of research question. For example, what is the impact of social media on body image among Generation Z? Okay, next, make a list of keywords. Start by creating a list of keywords related to your research question. Include each of the key concepts or variables you're interested in, and list any synonyms and related terms. You can add to this list if you discover new keywords in the process of your literature search. Okay, for example, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, body image, self-perception, self-esteem, mental health, Generation Z, teenagers, adolescents, youth, etc. Okay guys, next we talk about step 2.
Step 2. Evaluate and select sources. Next, you need to evaluate your sources and decide which ones are most relevant to include. Audience question. Once you've got some sources, what do you think are the important questions to ask about each sources for evaluation purpose? Question to ask about sources. What question is addressed? What are the key concepts? What are the key theories and methods? What are the results and conclusions? How does it relate to other study? What are the key insights and arguments? What are the strengths and weaknesses of the research? Taking notes. Quotas, summaries of key points, sources information, author name, title and journal name, year of publication, and the last page number. At this stage, there is a lot of information to take in, and taking effective notes is important. Copy down specific quotes that you might want to integrate into your review. It can be particularly useful to quote definition of key concept. Prepare and summarize key points from each sources you read. Also keep note of sources information for your bibliography, full information on each study, including the author name, the title, the journal in which it was published, and the year of publication. It's essential to note down to page number where each quotes or preface can be found, as you'll need this for your citations. Keep effective notes at this stage will make the writing process a lot smoother. Step 3. Identify theme, debates, and gaps. Now you won't start thinking about what your evaluation of the relevant source reveals. You're looking for identifiable trends in the literature, themes that common often ongoing debates and gaps in the research. What to look for? Trends in the literature over time, key themes, debates and disagreements, pivotal publications, and research gaps. When you encounter disagreements between different scholars, consider whether the issue they disagree on seems resolved or merits further investigations. When you encounter a particular article or book that is frequently cited, you can assume it's a pivotal publication for this subject. How do research position time lapse in relation to these publications? Do they consider it authoritative or question its value? To identify gaps in the research, look at what research suggests as possible areas for further research, or consider where different sources disagree. Could a different approach be taken to explain these apparent contradictions? Examples of trends and gaps. Most research focus on young women, expressing interest in the visual aspect of social media. Lack of research on platforms like Instagram and Snapchat. This is gap your research could fill. For example, let's say we're reviewing the literature on the relationship between social media and body image issues. We notice the trend the most research in the area is focused on young women. We also note the interest in the visual aspect of social media is increasing over time.
Step 4. Outline your literature review structure. There are various approaches to organizing the body of a literature review. You should have a rough idea your strategy before you start writing. Depending on the length of your literature review, you can combine several of the strategy. For example, your overall structure might be thematic, but each theme is discussed chronological. The simple approach is to trace the development of the topic over time. However, if you choose this strategy, be careful to avoid simple listing and summarizing source in order. Thematic. If you have found some recurring center theme, you can organize your literature review into subsections that address different aspects of the topic. Methodological. If you draw your source from different disciplines or fields that use a variety of research methods, you might want to compare the results and conclusions that emerge from different approaches. Theoretical. Literature review is often the foundation for a theoretical framework. You can use it to discuss various theories, models, and definition of key concepts. Step 5. Write your literature review. Like any other academic text, your literature review should have an introduction, a main body, and a conclusion. What you include in each depends on the objective of your literature review. Introduction. The introduction should clearly establish the focus and purpose of the literature review. Body. Depending on the length of your literature review, you might want to divide the body into subsections. You can use a subheading for each theme, time period, or methodological approach. Conclusion. In the conclusion, you should summarize the key findings you have taken from the literature and emphasize their significance.